I am Teresa Cherry, Mayor of Johnsonburg. Welcome to our town.
Welcome to Johnsonburg, Pennsylvania. Located in the northern tier along the Clarion River, Johnsonburg was founded over 200 years ago and is a small town full of friendly people. Today, the town nurtures a community spirit that spans generations, values the contributions of its veterans, and celebrates the achievements of its youth. Join us as local residents show and tell everything that makes their community a great hometown. Your friends and neighbors welcome you to Our Town Johnsonburg. Support for Our Town Johnsonburg comes from Area Transportation Authority, providing reliable, safe public transit to thousands of riders across 6 counties, serving senior citizens, commuters, and the disabled, and stimulating business throughout our region. ATA, Rural Transportation for Our Town Johnsonburg and beyond. The Johnsonburg Chamber of Commerce, working to promote the success of local business and industry and the economic health and prosperity of Our Town Johnsonburg, Pennsylvania. The Winery at Wilcox, makers of a wide and innovative array of fine wines fermented and bottled in the Pennsylvania wilds. Open daily 10 till 6 for tastings and tours. wineryatwilcox.net. Constable Home Furnishings, serving Pennsylvania's northern tier with fine furnishings and floor coverings. Proud to be a part of life in Our Town Johnsonburg since 1940. Paper City Transfer, haulers of stone, mulch, and wood products. Proudly serving all of north central Pennsylvania from our home in Johnsonburg, Elk County. Penn Highlands Healthcare, expanding state-of-the-art care to residents of Johnsonburg and all of Elk County, serving the region with quality and compassionate care. phhealthcare.org. And viewers like you, thank you.
I am Teresa Cherry, and I am here to tell you about the Veterans of Johnsonburg Bypass. The bypass was completed in the year 2009. It was to go around Johnsonburg. They got a petition up to have it named as a Johnsonburg veteran, and it passed the council. And nobody did anything about it. I grew up in Johnsonburg. My family was all military, from my dad's family to my mother's family. I had 6 brothers that served in the different services. And I was lucky. They all came home. I became mayor in 2014. And as soon as I became mayor, I went to see Matt Gobler, our representative. And he started the bill to pass for the bypass. September 2015, we had our Veterans Day parade. It was absolutely wonderful. First, our day started out with breakfast at the senior center. The ATA provided us buses up to the Grand Street Bridge where we held a dedication. We had 14 band members from the U.S. Army come to the parade. We had our band. They actually played with the Johnsonburg High School Band. And it was absolutely beautiful. We had speeches there. Every time we cross the Veterans of Johnsonburg bypass, or we drive through town and see the Legion Memorial and the banners of the individual vets on the light poles, we are reminded of all the sacrifice they made to give us the life we have today. Matt Gobler was there, and John Perana, who originally got the ordinance passed to name the bypass, which without John, we wouldn't have had our bypass. We had a great crowd. I mean, veterans, their wives. We had people from Arizona that came, from Tennessee, that used to live in Johnsonburg and served in the service. At the end of the day, I went up and gave them all a pin. They stood in line and come around. I pinned them all and gave them a hug and a kiss. And at the end, there was 2 guys in line that had came through the first time. I said, hey, you guys, you already got your pin. We need another hug from you, Mayor. That, it may, no matter whatever happened, it was beautiful, yeah.
My name is Brock Benson. I'm the principal of Johnsonburg Area High School, and the story I'd like to tell is the 2012-2013 athletic story of Johnsonburg. I know it's something I'll never forget, and I think the folks from this town will never forget, and that's a year where our boys basketball team made it to the state finals, and then that spring, that same group of athletes made it to the state finals in boys baseball and brought home the gold medal. I know nobody was more excited about the basketball run than Coach Bill Shuey, and the baseball run likewise, Coach Jeff Peterson. Both of those gentlemen I think it's something they'll never forget as well, and they have really incredible stories and memories as well.
At the start of the season, we knew that we had some talented players, and more importantly, we had a team that was very close-knit and really enjoyed each other, and you could see that they were very unselfish with the basketball, and that paid dividends for us through the season. When you make it to the state playoffs, you obviously have to have some luck, but these boys had tremendous heart and tremendous competitiveness, and it was close. It was close all the way through, but the support that we had, not only by the school or the town, it was from the whole district.
And that same group of kids, they entered the state title for basketball. Well, I ended up with that same nucleus of kids that I was waiting for my baseball. Kids came together, we had a real good season starting out. We had a few flaws here and there, just like any team would do. But the kids, you couldn't ask for a better group of kids to coach. They're all about team. They never back down from nothing. So when we were losing, we were never losing. We were never out of it. It wasn't over until it's over. And during the state title game, it's a 0-0 score for the longest time. And we ended up squeezing some runs home, and it just opened the door, and we ended up winning that game. And it was just a phenomenal thing for the kids to look up in the stands and see all the people from the whole area watching them.
That group of kids, they just competed. They didn't give up. It didn't matter if you were winning by 20 or losing by 20. They just were going to battle you. Obviously, you don't get a group of kids like that every year, but I think that attitude is something that they get from their folks, their grandparents, the community as a whole. And I think that's something that'll serve them well and everybody well the rest of their lives.
My name is Christine Bressler. I'm the Recreation Director at the Johnsonburg Community Center, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about our community center. The community center was built by the New York and Pennsylvania Company, the original owners of the paper mill. They built the building for the community of Johnsonburg and the citizens of Johnsonburg. It's been there almost 100 years. The building is quite a large building, and it's very substantially built. A lot of the organizations got started at the community center. The library was started originally at the community center. We're open daily, Monday through Friday. We have after school, the gym is open for basketball. We have swimming a couple times a week for the kids. Our Girl Scouts, our Boy Scout troops meet there. We also have an after-school program, which is really nice. They're supervised, do homework, they get to exercise, they do all kinds of stuff. And we also have laptops that were supplied by our Women Who Care group for the kids to be able to work on. We have gymnastics, we have exercise classes, we have aerotone classes, we have water aerobics, and it's also very social. That people enjoy being there, and running into other people and finding out what's going on. Not only is it such a big, cool building that kind of sits right in the middle of, of everything, but I grew up in there. I learned to swim. I went to the library. I played in the playground. And as my kids got older, my kids went to the library. My kids played in the playground. They learned to swim there. And now I have grandchildren that are swimming and playing in the playground. It just is part of you. I would like to see more people take advantage of it. I always tell people, if you're coming for a program that we have, come and try it first. See if this is what you want. If it's comfortable and you like it, you're more apt to come back and say, oh wow, yeah, this is good. I like this. This is nice. I like Johnsonburg. You can walk just about anywhere. We have wonderful parks. We have great little stores. We have wonderful, school system. I like the people of Johnsonburg. You know your neighbors. You know where you are.
My name is Marie C. Beal, and I'm here to talk about the 1942 flood. In 1942, there were 3 days of rain, and then on July the 18th, they had a cloudburst up at Kettner, which is not that far from north of us. It was a Saturday, and I'm saying it's a good thing it was a Saturday. Off to the movies we went, uptown to the Palace Theater. There was the matinee double feature. My mother had to go to town because it was canning season. My oldest sister, Julia, 15, was staying at home with my dad when the water started coming. So my father grabbed my sister by the hand. They just made it across the bridge in time. And the flood water came up, rising all the time. We were in the theater, and the whistles were blowing. Then we heard everybody in the back yelling, "Flood, flood." I don't know about the other kids, but we followed my sister out and just took off and headed for home. We couldn't get home the way we had gotten to the theater. We had to walk up the avenues and then walk down First Avenue, and then the bridge was there to cross over Benner's Island. Unbelievable. There was half the town had to be there. Everybody was watching the water. Unbelievable. It was like an ocean. Houses were floating down. Everything was floating down out of people's houses. It went through Benner's Island, and then it went on down to the paper mill, took the bridge down, so there was no way in and out of town. All of a sudden, the whistle, I think, went off again. Here, down at the paper mill, they were afraid that the chlorine gas tanks were going to break. So everybody had to head to higher ground because the chlorine stays close to the ground. It was really bad. I think I read that there were like 34 houses that were destroyed, and a lot of people were stranded. We were fortunate because my grandparents lived across the river, which is up on higher ground. So we were able to go up there after the flood, but there were a lot of people down at the island that were stranded, and they didn't get rescued some way later at night. My uncle came from Sheffield and took 3 of us kids up to Sheffield until my dad was able to find a home. And thank goodness for the Red Cross, because all you had was the clothes on your back, so they gave us clothes up at Sheffield when we were up there. At our Bilo store in Johnsonburg, on the north end of Johnsonburg, they have a page of the Johnsonburg flood, 42 flood. It's in a frame. If anybody comes through town, they should make a little trip up there and read it. There's an awful lot of history in this town, and I'd love to pass all this stuff on.
I'm Dennis Krotzer. I'm the superintendent of the Johnsonburg Area School District. I'm here today to talk about our school and its importance to our community. We have 2 schools. We have our elementary school, which is a K through 6 building. And then we have our high school, which is a 7th through 12 building. And also we house our pre-K program at our high school. Our pre-K program, we're very excited about that. It gave students 4 years old an opportunity to come to preschool within our district. At our high school level, I'm very proud of our music and our art programs. We send kids to competitions through our art programs. Our VOAG program, they have a sawmill out there. They raise fish. They have the greenhouse. They just a lot of opportunities that those students have, and we're very proud of that within the district. Kids are fantastic to be around. We have currently about 600 students in our pre-K through 12th grade. They go out into the communities, do things. Academically, they do well. In the athletic arenas, they do well. They do well in the fine arts. With us being small, we get to know them and help them in any way we can to certainly achieve within our school, but then to know that they have a bright future as adults. I think a school in the school district. It's the hub of what we do in the community. We also open our doors up to our community members every night, Monday through Friday, that they can come to the elementary school at night and walk for exercise. And I know the comments come back to me a great deal from our community members that they love to walk in the school, but more importantly, they love to see the artwork of the students when they're going around. I believe if you characterize our school district, you would say that we put our students first. And that's because of the hard work of our teachers, our support staff people, and my fellow administrators. So I could not ask for a better group of people to help with our students. There's a great partnership that I believe that we have going, and I'm very proud of that. I grew up in Johnsonburg. I was away for years and then came back. So what it's meant to me is what a community really is, that people work hard together. They want to see the best for everyone. You know everybody, and even the worst day you could have, there's people there that you can lean on. When you talk about community, that's what Johnsonburg is a community.
I'm Ron King. I'm here to talk about the Johnsonburg Bicentennial. We worked on a bicentennial for actually 2 years before we could get organized to do this in 2010. We started it on a Friday evening with an opening ceremony.
I would like to welcome you to one of our greatest historic events in the history of Johnsonburg.
A lot of vendors, a lot of concession stands, a massive crowd of people attended. We had fireworks. Started again on Saturday. We had a founders ceremony down at the Paper Mill Pavilion down in the Clarion River, where the first home was built in Johnsonburg. They continued on with different activities, car shows throughout the day, craft shows in the morning and in the afternoon, and then we started our parade at 3 o'clock. The parade proceeded from the community building all the way up to the fire hall. It lasted almost 3 hours in time, so it was a pretty long span for as hot a day as it was, but it was one of those things that we have not seen in town for a long time, so everybody thoroughly enjoyed and appreciated that. We combined our bicentennial with the fire department's 100th anniversary. So that's why the fire department was such a vital part in getting this organized, because they had the manpower, they had all the contacts for firemen and everybody for the parade and so on. So we worked together really well and got this thing rolling and done. And it was a remarkable weekend, and the weather was absolutely beautiful, so everybody couldn't have asked for anything more for a 200th birthday party. There was a lot of family reunions held that weekend. A lot of out-of-town folks came back in that hadn't been here for a long time just to be here to celebrate such a feat in our history. I think the thing they enjoyed the most was just that opportunity to be at the fire hall, spend all the time you want over there in that parking lot, just having a good picnic-type time where they could sit and relax and talk as long as they wanted. Nobody was in a rush to go anywhere. It was important to me because you have to go back and support and be where your roots were and where they started, because that's what makes you what you are. Being born and raised in Johnsonburg, really never leaving except to go to the service, had a lot of opportunities to leave, but always chose to stay because this is where your roots were. And I think it's important for people to understand that the people that we've seen at these parades and all that you've known forever, those are the people that influenced you, watched over you, made sure when you were a younger kid you weren't getting in trouble with a bunch of kids that hollered at you or told your parents. Those are the things that make individuals what they are, and that's what makes families what they are, and makes a strong community. We have a really strong, supportive community here, and that's because of that type of an upbringing, I believe.
I'm Cindy Carnicelli, and I was going to talk about the mural that was painted downtown on the VFW building. The Johnsonburg Community Trust had the initial idea that they wanted to do a mural downtown and on some of the buildings, and my daughter-in-law is on Borough Council, and she came to our family and said, you know, this is in the making and it just seems to fit so well with what your family's always talked about with the veterans. They changed some of the faces in the actual mural to be World War II veterans from Johnsonburg, and one was my father, George Cherry. We had so many wonderful stories that we'd heard our whole life. He was actually on Tinian Island in the Pacific, and that is where the atomic bomb took off from. And my father was a propeller specialist, so he worked on the propellers of those planes, the B-29s, and he actually inspected the Enola Gay before it took off. He often talked about when the Enola Gay was on the island, it was very secure and only certain people were even allowed near it. So the soldiers knew something was going on, but it was top secret, and until it was over, they really didn't know. My mother also is pictured in the mural, Mary Cherry. She was on Neville Island in Pittsburgh, and she was a welder at the Dravo shipyard. She welded the landing barges that would come off of the big ships and take the soldiers to the shore in the shallow water. She was really proud of that. When they were painting the mural, we'd often stop down to see how it was coming, and people would stop on the street and come over and tell us how much they liked it, because Johnsonburg has a lot of veterans, so it wasn't just for our family, it was really for all the veterans in Johnsonburg. My dad often talked to that. He said even being on Tin Yan Island, you'd think you're pretty remote, but he said he would run into people from Johnsonburg. His two older brothers were also in the service. His brother Joe was in Africa, and my Uncle Luke, my dad's brother, was stationed in Italy. So that was our connection with all of the things that are pictured in that mural with the veterans, and it just seemed appropriate for our family to want to be a part of that.
My name is Melinda Lewis, and I am the librarian at the Johnsonburg Public Library. I'll be talking about the library today. I think our library is very important to our town. We've been there for 79 years now, so we're an institution. We have always felt that we're more than just books. We progress as the times do. We have a summer reading program. We bring in about 50 to 60 kids. We try to partner with the community building so that they can take part in their day camp and still be a part of our summer reading program. We bring in special performers. The kids read. We offer prizes like anything from tickets to a hockey game in Erie, to the Pittsburgh Zoo, the Erie Zoo, and of course books. It's crazy. We love it. We love having the kids there. We like seeing them get excited. They do crafts, they do games. They keep coming back. I love working at the library. It's part of who I am. And we love our patrons. Our patrons are a very important part of who we are. They're just great. There's no other way to say that. They come in and they want to spend time, and that's because of the personal service that we provide them. And we've always felt that behind every great community is a great library.
I'm Kathy King, and I'm member of the Johnsonburg First Baptist Church on the corner of First Avenue and Spruce Street. And I started going there approximately in 1977 when my husband and I moved to Johnsonburg. The people in the church just took us in as a real family. And when I started going there, I became a part of that church family. Johnsonburg Baptist Church is a small church, and it's experienced a lot of changes through the years. We do a lot of different things. Presently, we have a junior church program that we have during our Sunday morning worship service. We have Vacation Bible School in the summer. We have a food pantry that people in our church donate to, and people outside of our church, as well as different churches, have donated food to our church food pantry. And we help to try to meet the needs of families in our community with food and other things. We've partnered together through the years on a lot of different things. And one is the Operation Christmas Child shoe boxes. We have partnered with all the churches in our community to have Christmas boxes made for children. We use shoe boxes and fill them with gifts, and they are sent to Samaritan's Purse, which is Franklin Graham's organization. And it's really a worthwhile project. We rely on people in the community and other organizations to let us know when there's someone in our community that has a need. I think our main concern is just helping to reach out to people in the community, to be able to serve them. And even though there's just a small group of us, we have a heart's desire to help meet the needs of people in our community, whether it be a physical need, a spiritual need. There's just tremendous needs in our community, and we're here to help however we can.
My name is Neil Constable, and I'm the president of the Johnsonburg Fire Department, and that's who I'm here to represent. The Johnsonburg Fire Department was formed back in the 1890s. We've consolidated the 3 departments into one building. The building today has a large social room, which is 100 by 100 and will house 600 people, and that's what we use for our community events. The community events go all the way from carnivals to dinners to fundraisers with craft shows. Now, all of that is truly directed to keeping our trucks on the road. We have a Pierce pumper, and that is our attack pumper. That's a Class A foam pumper, and that engine is capable of using 2/3 less water at the fires and emergencies that we're involved with. So in the rural districts, it is a great asset to not only our town and community, but the other communities surrounding us. As a 40-year veteran of the department, working with these people who are some of the most gracious and giving people in the world is really the reward in itself. You know when the whistle blows, you're gonna go, there's an emergency, that's what you've trained for, and there's no better feeling in the world than helping your community out. And I would appreciate any new young volunteer to come along and start to enjoy the camaraderie and the training.
I'm Ginger Schreiber, and I'm the drama advisor at the high school for the drama club / director for the past 20 years. Every year we do a show at the Johnsonburg High School, a musical. I started in 1997, was my very first show. We did Oz. And this year, we're doing Mary Poppins. It's the most complex that Johnsonburg High School has ever done. We have 17 students. We pull from the 7th through the 12th grade. Anybody that would like to be in drama is allowed to be in it. They're the cast, the prop movers, the extras, anything that we need for them to do. Some of our props are even done by our students. And this year, we're blessed enough to have one of our seniors actually taught 4 kids how to tap dance this season. Johnsonburg High School is like a family. Most of the kids that are in drama are also in other things, so they wear many hats at our school because it's a small school. They come together every day. They're brothers and sisters, per se, in either drama or sports or band.
Super, caddy, fragilistic, expialidocious.
That part of being a Johnsonburgian is wonderful because you get to know everyone in your class and you stay close. You know your classmate, you know your lower classmate, you know the 7th graders. It's so amazing to get a 7th grader that is a scared, shy little person. And you give them just a little part, their 7th grade year, to get their feet wet. And then to watch them slowly blossom and grow to be the lead their senior year. It is amazing to see that. They get so much confidence, they get so much power within themselves to conquer the world. And to hear the audience opening night when the curtain opens and the first applause happens, it is so amazing. Not only to me as a director, but to the kids. They light up like lights on a Christmas tree. It is so neat to see.
My name is Alice Lawner. I'm originally from Kane, but married into the Lawner family 62 years ago. Klondike Road, part of Johnsonburg, was at one time at least 2/3 of Lawners and their descendants. Jacob Lawner over in Bern, Switzerland. He was a mountaineer. He was killed. His wife and 5 of the 6 children ended up just south of Ridgeway, Pennsylvania. She got a job as camp cook for logging camp, and she raised her children there. Later on, many of them moved to the area that is now known as Klondike Road. I also have a picture of the homestead that the one son had built. And when 219 was an old road, there was a gas station in front of that homestead. That man that was sitting was my father-in-law. And if he was living today, he would be about 120 years old. My husband and I married. He was leaving for Korea. I was a senior in high school. Saturday, we had a church wedding. Monday, he left for Korea, and I didn't see him again for a year and a half. When I finished graduating from school, I moved to Klondike, and I moved in with his father and kept house and got a job at Stackpole. That great-grandmother who came from Switzerland with her children, raised them by herself. I can't imagine what kind of woman she must have been, the strength and the love to do this. I want to share that, not only the photographs with the rest of the family, but with the world. And there's so many from other nationalities who came to Johnsonburg like that, similar, and raised their family, and now we're all one town.
I'm Mike Imbrogno. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of ATA, and I'm here to talk about Area Transportation Authority and our relation in the Johnsonburg community. We'd actually started the company in 1976, and we operate in 156 municipalities throughout north central Pennsylvania. Our business is providing transportation to people, and serving the communities. Johnsonburg has a unique distinction of being our corporate headquarters. We moved here in 1978. The borough manager at the time and the mayor of Johnsonburg worked with the board and come up with a super deal for us to move in. And I was always amazed that as we grew and hired staff, the staff would always comment on how engaging and energetic and just friendly the people of Johnsonburg were. Johnsonburg is strategically located within the 6 counties we serve, and we built a new facility right on the southern edge of the community on Route 219. We're very proud of that, and quite frankly, we think it's a great front door to the borough of Johnsonburg. We really do believe we're part of the community, and we think it's our responsibility to be not only a good neighbor, but a good member of the community. I am from Johnsonburg originally. I had a large family. I felt I had certain obligations. One of the things that I realized was a lot of the people of my generation were moving out of the community. And it left a lot of their parents without, extended family support. It's a worry on the sons and daughters that have left the area. One of the things that we do is we are here to help provide necessary transportation for a lot of elder people, a lot of the people that are disabled. That's something that's very personally rewarding to me, and I know it's very personally rewarding to the staff. We provided a trip for an individual one day, and I got a letter, and it was an individual that booked a trip for the sole purpose of looking at Christmas lights. And at the end of the letter, said it was the first time in 17 years that he had left his home. How do you place a value on that, in my opinion? What more can you say? I mean, it's what we're all about, serving people.
My name is Joyce DeValance, and I'd like to tell you a little story about the Sugarcane Flower Shop. We got started in 2011. My son, who lived in Washington, D.C., decided to start a business. He wanted to bring a little bit of the city to Johnsonburg, which he did. Unfortunately, he passed away. The shop was left to me. I had the opportunity to sell the shop or to keep it, and I decided to keep his legacy going. So here we are 5 years later. We're still in business and we're going strong. I have a good staff, and I have other girls that I can call in as needed. We have a very, very, very busy wedding season. It's nothing for us to do 2 and 3 weddings in a weekend. So we're pretty proud of that. When someone gets a floral bouquet for an anniversary, a get well, a birthday, they're happy. That makes us happy. That makes us feel like we've done something right. This is the type of work, either you can do it or you can't do it. I never thought I could do it, but here I am. Not too long ago, we had a request for a funeral spray for a gentleman who had passed away, but the funeral director told me he did not like flowers. He was a totally outdoorsman. So he said, just do what you can do. So we cut down greens from the woods. We made a spray out of nothing but greens, pine cones, turkey feathers. We used camouflage ribbon. It turned out beautiful, and the family was very happy with it. I have lived in Johnsonburg my whole life. I was born and raised in Johnsonburg. It's home. Johnsonburg is the type of community when something bad happens to someone, the whole community kicks in and they really help out. It's a very close town. And it's nice in my business, someone will call me from out of town and they'll say, I'd like to send flowers to whomever. I don't know what to send, and I'll say, well, I do because I know what they like. The Johnsonburg people support us, and we want to do whatever we can do to keep them happy. Without them, there would be no sugarcane.
My name is Jack Fowler, and I wanted to do a brief review of the cemeteries that we have in town. There's a lot of history in our cemeteries, and a little known fact is that in World War II, Johnsonburg had the highest percentage per capita of men in the war, and a lot of them are now in our cemeteries. There are 4 cemeteries. One is up on the hill overlooking town. It's called the Laurel Hill Cemetery. It started out basically as a cemetery for veterans. In the Laurel Hill Cemetery, the earliest is the Civil War. There's also Spanish-American war graves, World War I, World War II, and Korea. There may be older ones, but the stones on a lot of the older ones are so far gone that you can't get a name or a date off of them. The other cemeteries are the St. John's Lutheran Cemetery, the United Methodist Cemetery, and the Holy Rosary Cemetery. And these 3 are grouped together into one plot of ground with a road dividing the cemeteries. In the Laurel Hill Cemetery, they had a cannon there and a pile of cannonballs. And in 1922, there was a group of young men up there playing, and they thought it would be fun to roll a cannonball down the hill. The cannonball went down over the hill, gained a lot of momentum, actually went through the front of a house, through the living room into the dining room, and finally landed in the kitchen, doing considerable damage to the house. The cannonballs and the cannon are no longer there. During the scrap drives of World War II, the people in charge of the cemetery at the time decided to donate the cannon and the cannonballs to the metal drive to support the war effort. I'm not a history buff. It's the people that are in the cemeteries that draw the interest. Many of the people that are there were very good friends. It's just reliving some friendships is the best way to say it. I'm not from Johnsonburg. I was raised in Wilcox, and I've been in Johnsonburg since 1975, 76, somewhere in there. Become I guess, a rather involved member of the community. It is very much home.
My name is Amy Oler. I am the Johnsonburg Service Unit Director for Girl Scouts of Western Pennsylvania. Girl Scouts started in Johnsonburg in 1915, 3 years after it started national, with Julia Gordon Lowe. We've always had a very strong Girl Scouts presence in Johnsonburg. It's always been Boy Scouts too and Cub Scouts, all the scouting events. We have 68 registered girls and 14 adults in 5 different troops. We have a lot of girls working on their gold and silver awards and doing activities around town. They're very involved in town. We're in the parades. We try to help out when we're invited to stuff. We go all summer, we go camping, we do trips, we do day camps. Majority of them, when they start in kindergarten, usually stay the whole way through. We have a good retention rate of Girl Scouts in our area. My troop, about 4 years ago, they did a Challenge and Change grant, and then down on Center Street, up by the Y, the borough let us have some land, and we built a garden up on the hill with perennials. We have a bench and bird baths, and it's in honor of the Girl Scouts who came before us in Johnsonburg. The last few years, we have been doing floats and costumes in the Santa Parade. The first Sunday before Thanksgiving is downtown light up night, Santa Parade, and we all participate, and the girls absolutely love it. They usually walk up and down Market Street singing songs and throwing out candy. I was a Girl Scout in Johnsonburg I was a Brownie and Junior. I've been a leader for the last 15 years, and then for the last 8 years, I've been the service unit. I'm in charge of all the troops, setting up leaders, setting up the troops, registering. Being a leader has been a wonderful experience for me, myself. You get to do a lot of fun things with the girls, watch them grow and change, take them on trips, be a part of the community, and meet different people. Girl Scouting's all over the world. It makes you feel you're a part of something that's all over the world.
Hi, I'm Charlie Constable, and I've been asked to talk about the history of the Cherry Square Mall. Cherry Square Mall was the idea of the 4 landowners on which the mall exists on today. There was a building owned by Mike and Chris Brogno, which was a family food and deli. And then Constable Stores, we housed 2 floors of furniture on that side. There was a bar room called Chongo's, and previously to that was the Cavalier Bar, and that could be a complete story of Johnsonburg on itself, but we won't go there today. And then an old service station was there, which was owned by Dick Cherry Sr. My brothers and I, Constable's Furniture, we purchased the couple buildings to the north of our store and moved our furniture store all over to the same side of the street by constructing a 7,500 square foot building there. We got together with Mike and Brogno, my brothers, Marty Schuler and Dick Cherry, and the idea came a mall for the town. It was about the town. This would be great for the downtown of Johnsonburg, a new building, something people could be proud of. A lot of names were tossed around, and Dick Cherry, being the eldest of us at the time, he was a very, very civic-minded person. He did a lot for Johnsonburg over the years. And one of the partners came up with the idea, hey, you know what? Let's name it after you, Dick. And that's how it became the Cherry Square Mall. We erected a 10,000 square foot building. That building was started on April of 1990 and finished construction in the fall of that year. We've housed everything from doctor's offices to tattoo parlors over the courses of the years. We felt it's been a great thing for Johnsonburg. It's been something that really brightened the downtown a little bit and has helped to try and entice some other businesses in. And we hope for many, many years to come that it'll continue to be a landmark for Johnsonburg. We're all Johnsonburg people. We've all been raised and born in Johnsonburg. We have a love for this town. The people, I think they were as proud of the building as we ourselves for building it. That's one of the things with this town is the camaraderie that there is. It's almost like family. You stick together. You may squabble, but you stick together when times are tough, and I think the building means a lot to all of us.
My name is Carmen Canella, and I want to talk about the Diamond Casting Company in Johnsonburg, which was built in 1935. I started my working career at the age of 15 in the foundry in this plant. I worked in every department of it. This was the time of the Iron Age. This foundry supported the paper mill in Johnsonburg. It supported Elliott Company in Ridgeway, which in turn, Ridgeway was instrumental in building submarines for the government. It supported Russell Snowplow Company in Ridgeway and many other industries. I was 38 years old when I bought the Diamond Casting Company. At that time, it was abandoned. I worked in the mill at the time, and every time I walked past the foundry, I said to myself, what could be done with it? I tore down 7 buildings, and I kept the machine shop, and I kept the office. The office I turned into a home and raised myself a family there. Remodeling an old house wasn't easy. I made it so beautiful. At times when I put the sign up for sale, my beloved wife went up there and take the sign down. She didn't want to move. There's a lot of mistakes in my life, but this is not a mistake. This is a challenge that I did all my life. I'm 88 years old. When I was growing up, the older people, they would show a person how to live. I could go on, how beautiful it was, I was very fortunate living on the street with the culture of Polish, of Italians, Irish, Slovak, or what have you. And it was so beautiful, each one helped each other. When a person was in distress, the neighbors were there to help you out. Being in the service and coming home, they welcome with open arms. It's a good place to live and raise a family. The town is a town of love.
Hi, I'm Gloria Malala, and my story is about St. John Lutheran Church in Johnsonburg. It's been there since 1888. The church, when it first started, met in a home to begin with. It was served by pastors from Ridgeway for the first 12 years. They, at that point, decided they needed to build a parsonage and a church building, and they did that, which is on the corner of now what is called Church Street and Mill Street in west end of Johnsonburg. In its early years, there were 2 services. One was in German and one was in English, and they were both very well attended. We had a very active Sunday school, and we still do. We have one of the most active Sunday schools in the town, and our children are involved in a lot of different things. We have a very active congregation, which is really nice. We do a lot of fellowship kind of dinners. During Lent, we do fish fries. Shrove Tuesday, we do a pancake supper. Our Sunday school does that. We do other fellowship things. We do craft sales and bake sales and those kind of things. It's something that we really enjoy doing because we have a nice group of people that work together well and do those fun things. And then we also reach out to the community where we get a lot of not only Lutherans, but outside people as well. I think I most enjoy the people. We have a lot of intergenerational things. We have people that are anywhere from in their 80s down to infants, and it's nice to be able to watch the children grow up through the years and become adults and go off on their own, and especially when we see them come back and actually stay here in Johnsonburg, where Johnsonburg's, I think, is a wonderful place to live. I lived here practically my whole life. My husband's lived here his whole life. We like Johnsonburg. I love my church. My church is a big part of my life, and it's a big part of a lot of people in our town's lives. Just 3 years ago, we had our 125th anniversary, which we were very proud of. And we had quite a good turnout from people even from out of town and some of the past pastors. And now we're in our 128th year and hopefully going on for many, 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 many more.
I'm Rocco DeFranco. I'm here to talk about scouting in Johnsonburg. Scouting has been going on in Johnsonburg for a long time. We tried to get a date for when so I could throw out a good number, but we don't know. It's been a long time. It's going full force right now. Both Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts are running with lots of kids. I'm a Cub Scout leader, soon to be Boy Scout. We've crossed over, I'm going to say about 15 kids in the last 3-4 years into Boy Scouts. In the last 10 years, 9 of their scouts have achieved Eagle Scout, which is pretty impressive. Cub Scouts start first graders. We have a whole lot of things that we do. We have an annual spaghetti dinner. We have our Pinewood Derby, which we do at the same time. Of course, we have like our blue and gold dinner for our awards and whatnot. We have a fishing day that we do at Twin Lakes. It's just an incredible time for the kids. The kids have a great example in the leaders and their parents in cooperation with each other. The clubs around here are fantastic to scouting, but then scouting is very good for the community. And it's never, well, you do this for me, then I'll do this for you. It's just everybody doing what's right because it's what's right. I think it's a perfect example of what's right with this town. Scouting motto is do your best. It can really give a kid a great place to succeed. What we have going is a good thing, and it's growing, and this is my last year in Cub Scouts. My kids are Webelos too. I can't believe their growth in 5 years, watching them, looking back at old pictures. It's a real good organization. We give back.
My name is Pam Ellegretto DiUlio, and I'm the current president of the Johnsonburg Rotary Club. Rotarians focus on both international and local projects. The international theme for Rotary is to end polio. On a local level, we have 15 Rotarians in our club in Johnsonburg, and we are all very active. And I'm really impressed to see the dedication of the people that we have in Rotary. Our members participate in fundraising, projects, programs. We focus on education, benefiting local organizations in our town. We have, in collaboration with Kane Community Hospital, a multiphasic blood analysis that we provide for local county residents. People register to go and have their blood tested, and there's many different blood tests that are part of this multiphasic. Every year in November, we provide a senior appreciation Thanksgiving dinner at the fire hall, and we have usually 200 or a little bit more senior citizens that participate with that, and it's free to them, and we have so much fun with that. We like to recognize students who are doing well at school. Our guidance counselor, Judy Allegretto, who is also a Rotarian, she will bring to us one student a month who is awarded a certificate for Student of the Month. They receive not only that certificate, but a monetary gift from Rotary. Those are things that we do that really help to inspire the community. We don't care about age. We start with the young people here at the school, and we work with the seniors. This community is a close-knit group. I taught at a university in Kuwait for 14 years, and when I came back to Johnsonburg, I realized how important this place was to me. The goodness that people have and the spirit that they have, even in a time of personal tragedies, how everybody comes together. We are one big family here in Johnsonburg.
My name is Chuck Simpson, and I'm here to talk about Central Hose.
social club. Central Hose was established in 1897 as a fire department and was a fire department for many years that serviced the West End area of the town. When Centrals had their 50th anniversary, which would have been approximately 1947, and I guess there was a parade, and they had a float in it that they had a house on fire, and then the firemen were chasing after it, putting it out. Approximately 10 to 15 years ago, all the fire departments in town banded together and are in one big building now. Our club became a social club. People join there. They come for friendship and talking and to eat. We have wing night on Wednesdays, and people are always talking about Central's wing night. And we have a burger there that's called Peggy Burger, named after my late aunt, who was the manager there for many years. And people know about that and really like it. There is a deep fried pretzel, yes. Filled with jalapeno, cream cheese, and we deep fry them. We sell a lot of those also. We support the community. We support the library, senior center, the athletic teams in the town, the schools. When our baseball team were the state champions in 2013, we helped support some of their travel expenses. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback. People know that we are very supportive. It feels really good. I'm glad to be a part of it. I graduated here, lived here all my life. It's a nice place to be. Everybody's pretty friendly and willing to help anybody out, and it's a great place. I like it.
I'm Jeffrey Elmquist, Commander, VFW Post 6301, and also a member of the Servicemen's Detail in Johnsonburg. We are located on Market Street, close to the post office. We've been there for quite a while now. Recently, they have just had some very nice murals painted on the building concerning us. That's also where we hold our meetings. Second Wednesday of every month, right around 5:30, coffee and donuts. We meet to discuss things to do with the Servicemen's Detail. If a family calls us and their loved one was a veteran, we will come in. Our services are fairly short. We will go in and we approach the casket, we salute, stand to the side, and we have 2 rifle bearers and flagmen. We will do a short prayer, and then the flag is taken from the casket and presented to the family member. At that time, then we play taps, and that's pretty much our service. Our burial detail is made up of Marines, Navy, Air Force, National Guard, Army, Coast Guard, running from Vietnam to World War II, Korea, a lot of the conflicts in between, and some younger ones from some of the latest conflicts. So there is a camaraderie of the men in uniform. I really enjoy the camaraderie of the men being together. If you have experienced the service, no matter what branch of service you were in, you still have it. Whether your experiences be years apart, you share that. And there is a great sense of pride in this area for the veterans. We've had very, very many veterans. So personally, I think it's very important to have the VFW and the Servicemen's Detail for people that would like to have it for their family member.
I'm Ken Schaefer, a lifelong resident of Johnsonburg, and I'm here to talk about what the Chamber of Commerce does. I'm a past president of it and been a member for quite a while. We take a lot of pride in how the town looks. The Fall Festival is a big fundraiser for us. The vendors come in and they rent tables and they make money, we make money. It's a win-win situation. The main streets shut down for the day and we get quite a few people from all around. A lot of people come back home for that. People that have since moved away. And that's pretty neat. During that, we also put on a car show. And the car show is kind of neat because we don't give out trophies. We give out Craftsman tool sets, and people love that. When I opened up my business, they come up and we had a grand opening and asked me to come to the meeting, and I was interested, so I joined, and it wasn't very long. I was on the board of directors. Yep, and I've been there ever since. We have a lot of membership. We need more active members. I think it's very important. The relationships I've made are with other business people in town. And because of that, they come to me for business. I go to them for business. I don't think my business would be where it's at today without the chamber. I attribute a lot of my success to them, just being involved.
My name's Anthony Ferragini, and I'm here to talk about Holy Rosary Church. Our church was first in the Market Street section of Johnsonburg, and it was not Holy Rosary Church as we are today. It was Mother of God Church, and it had 15 members. Everybody came from Europe all at one time. We had the population of Johnsonburg really boomed, so we needed a bigger church. And they purchased the property in 1904, and I think the church was completed in 1905. The church is Romanesque, and that means it's in the shape of a cross, and it has undergone many renovations. The major renovation came into effect after Vatican II, when we took off the altars and we did a lot of work with marble. It's a very active part of our community. If you're a good member of church, it's a vibrant part of your life because it's almost all your activities end up in church. It's from the cradle to the grave, you know. I was baptized here, and when they built the church and school, my father helped build those projects. So of course my parents were very much involved in church also. And I'd have to say here that Holy Rosary School was also very important in my life because we graduated from there, of course. A lot of our members, older people, have attended Holy Rosary Church and school. I want to say that most everybody that attends church is active and has been active in all the different committees. And when we have a function, most people donate their time and efforts to make that work. I love Johnsonburg. It's a very quiet, unassuming community. I know everybody, practically. Spent all my life here. Reared my family, I have 3 children, and I'm really embedded in Johnsonburg. There's always a saying, you know, once you get your feet in a clarion, you always want to come back there. I love the people, and they've really been wonderful to me all my life.
I'm Megan Schreiber Carter. I grew up in Johnsonburg, and I'd like to tell you some stories today about some of the spirited members of this town. When my sisters and I were growing up on High Street in Johnsonburg, one neighbor of ours, one house down, was Mr. Smith. John M. Smith II was an older man and retired when we knew him, but he had been the owner of the Smith Lumber Company in town. He used to sit on his porch on nice days. He, as a result of having had diabetes and poor circulation from that, had had one leg removed. And when he sat out on the porch, if we were running by, he would invite us up on his porch by saying, "Hey, you want to come up and knock on my wooden leg?" And so we never turned that down. He would smile, and we would smile, and he would laugh. And I think we had about as much fun with that leg as you can have. He was a kind man, always smiling, and I remember him fondly. And our families have been friends now for 4 generations. Right next door to us lived LaRue Knapp. Mr. Knapp looked like a skinny Colonel Sanders. He walked with a cane.
He was a one-time mayor of Johnsonburg. He was a darling man, full of life and spirit. He wanted us to call him Grandpa Knapp. Grandpa Knapp used to carry his purchases from the state store home in a violin case. And I don't know how, kids know somehow, I knew what was in that violin case. And one day, when he was walking home with it, I said, Grandpa Knapp, why do you carry those bottles in that violin case? And he said, well, Megan, because I have to pass 2 churches on the way home. Grandpa Knapp had a great wit. Our family had dachshunds, which some people call wiener dogs. And so I presume that it was Grandpa Knapp who put this card in my parents' mailbox. This would have been in the 1950s. It's kind of a cool old card. And it's a holiday card, right? And it's a dachshund, and it's got a spring for a tail, which has lasted 50 or 60 years. On the back, it says, we're having a moose milk party Saturday night, December 26th. Hope you can drop in to see Sally, Mary Lou, and John. Those were Grandpa Knapp's daughters and his son-in-law. So we thought, well, what's moose milk? And we looked it up. And apparently, moose milk is ice cream, 3 kinds of liquor, and nutmeg. And I feel sure that my parents went to this party and had a great time. I think people say that all small towns are the same, but they're not. Grandpa Knapp was unique, and Mr. Smith was unique, and they're just 2 of the people in this unique town. I grew up here. I don't live here all the time now. Life and work take me away, but I think I've learned as I've gotten older that sometimes you have to have distance before you can see something clearly. And I see what is so great about this town better now. I almost always have a good time when I come here, but I always learn something when I come. I learn something about myself or my ancestors or the town or my friends here. And I find that people will talk to me about my parents or my aunts or my uncles or my grandparents, and it makes them seem like they're not so far gone. Like they still live because people are still talking to me about them and I'm still learning about them. So thanks for doing this.
And that's Our Town Johnsonburg, a look at the Elk County community through the eyes of its residents. Support for Our Town Johnsonburg comes from Area Transportation Authority, providing reliable, safe public transit to thousands of riders across 6 counties, serving senior citizens, commuters, and the disabled, and stimulating business throughout our region. ATA, rural transportation for Our Town Johnsonburg and beyond. And viewers like you, thank you.